Cool. So what we want to do, so we're working on your issue here where, you want to prompt users to double check their accounts recovery settings, and then we would prompt a banner that would link to their account every 3 months. So basically what I'm going to do is show you how it works currently for the like something that we do right now, which is the GCP credit offer. If you go to the clusters page, so here, if you go to like clusters, this is actually, I think, where they created the user callout implementation first. Or no, that's not true. There was another feature highlight somewhere here where they were using that. But anyways, this is one of the ways that we can persist user dismissals in the backend. So once you click this, or either one of these actually, once you click it, it'll flip a switch in the backend saying like, okay, you've dismissed this, and it'll never show it again unless you happen to clear it or you create a new flag for it. So you can see my screen now. Okay, so what you really need to what you need to really edit is like 2 things: is the user callout enums, which just kind of declare all of the possible user callout flags. And so there's actually 2, one's for CE, one for EE, so you have to be mindful of that. So check the EE one as well to make sure that you're not using like another a duplicate ID. So in this case, we would do something like, I don't know, account recovery, something, and then something like that. And then you would go to something like the user callouts helper, and then add a helper here to just basically map to that enum, that key. And then you can use that in your template helper to determine whether or not it should show the offer, because at this point it's checking if the user has dismissed it. So in this case, we have show GCP sign up offer. And so if I go to the clusters helper, that's where I'm actually checking it here to see, okay, well, let me back up a little bit. In my template, I'm actually trying to render it here. And then I have a helper that actually checks, there's 2 things in this case, whether there's an instance level setting where we hide third-party offers, or whether or not it's just been dismissed, at which point we just render the flag. This is a little bit more complicated because we had this toggle or this application setting. So what you'd really only need to do is do like, if, show.
Yeah, if I have the relevant callout.
Yeah.
So basically we will need to introduce like a new callout scheme, like recovery settings, maybe 2020 January or whatever. I'm not sure what will be the naming, and we will just manually introduce new callout each 3 months and merge them via merge request. Yeah,
so that's actually, and I'll send this privacy policy or this MR to you. I did this for the privacy policy because the idea was anytime the privacy policy would be updated, we would prompt the user again to like dismiss the banner, which would be like acknowledging that they've read the privacy policy, or at least they know that it's been updated. And so what I did in this case, and I don't know if we should do the same because we're going to be issuing new banners every 3 months, is that I would just link to the issue explaining why, what this privacy policy update was. And then it was just specific to that issue number. I mean, other than that, we would probably just have some type of other naming scheme of like Q1, Q2, Q3 or something like that.
Very dumb question. What if the user does not signs in or dismiss the callout for more than 3 months or whatever? So he will basically have 2 callouts available, like, or not dismissed.
Yeah, so that's probably something we'll have to check. And actually, that would probably be where we put in the user callouts helper here, is that we would be checking previous callouts for the account recovery. So basically, so actually, you know what? we're probably going to need something like this where
Yeah, I also thought about that. We will need the
we're going to
same
need that
helper like
because,
this.
so we don't show more than one banner.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll just go down the list of callouts until hopefully we can check the database and say like, all right, we can clear some of these.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how they persisted in database? I mean, just for testing purposes, if I want to quickly dismiss it, I believe something like user callout table.
Yeah, I'd show you, but my GDK is still, I need to fix it. So yeah, you just go in the database. I believe it's user callouts, but I can double check that after this.
No matter, just like, okay, if it's simple table, I will definitely find it.
It's a very small table. It's literally callout ID, user ID, and then whether it's dismissed, which if that is there would indicate it would be dismissed, but yeah. So, yep.
Got it. So basically, no helper, another first point to enum, helper handling that, and some nice template rendering that.
Right.
That's pretty much it. By the way, I'm not sure if we have it. Just we'll need to check the issue.
Yep.
Okay. Well, seems pretty. Did you written any additional tests for covering when you add a new callout, or this is enough just for covering? We consider already covered by generic callout feature, and no additional tests there.
Callout has the helpers have their own specs. I think the lights went up. That's funny. So I don't think I added tests for the privacy policy one because we're already testing the callout helper. So if that's not working, then that's a bigger issue. And if we're not rendering templates, that's a bigger issue as well. So
okay, so basically what I will need to do, I will need to add the helper or the test only for that multiple callouts logic, right?
Yeah, so actually, for the privacy policy, I did add a spec just to make sure that if they dismissed the specific flag, but it's really kind of extra, just.
Yeah, because if we will do this one for each callout Q1, Q2, that will be pretty useless.
Yeah, I don't really think we'll need that. So, and I think that's pretty easy to justify in the merge request review. So.
Okay, so I will just add the test for multiple callouts behavior, and it will be fine.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Seems pretty straightforward. I do not expect any problems with this. So, thank you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop recording.